In this video on the Cursus Honorum, we will be covering the route aspiring Roman politicians would take to reach their position as consul, a position which I will cover later. Firstly, what was the Cursus Honorum? The Cursus Honorum was, as I said in the last video, the ladder of political honours that politicians would climb, leading eventually to the consulship, which was basically leadership of the state, although it was a bit more complicated than that. Now, with that covered, we can move on to all of the roles within the Cursus Honorum. The first of these was the quaestor, which would deal with finance. Depending on which time you look at, the number varied from between 2 to 4. The second role in the Cursus Honorum was obtained after a Roman politician had finished their term as a quaestor. The step up from quaestor could have actually been 2 different roles. The first of them was the tribune. Originally there were 2 to 5 of them, depending on which period of time you check, but later that number increased to 10. The second possible option was the aedile. There would be 4 aediles, 2 of which were important Romans born into wealth through their families, and the other 2 were plebeians, which, although more of an insult now, was originally just used to mean less wealthy citizens. The aedile's job was to organize any building project such as temples or roads, and to prepare games. After this, the next role was the praetor. There were between 6 and 16 praetors during the Republic, depending on time period, although during the Empire there were more added, taking their number up to 18 at one point. A praetor had some military duties and also sometimes operated as judges. A propraetor also existed and was similar to a praetor, but with less power. The final role in the Cursus Honorum was the consul. 2 consuls were elected each year, had major military roles, and were effectively in control of the Roman Republic. The consul was the most prestigious role in the Roman Republic. Although someone could theoretically only be elected for a consulship once, Gaius Marius got a record of 7 consulships. Although those were the only directly related roles in the Cursus Honorum, there were a few others which were connected. These were the Dictator and the Censor. The Dictator was very rarely given to someone in a state of emergency. Although this was its intended use, the position was awarded to a certain Gaius Julius Caesar after he won the civil war. However, this was largely due to the fact that the Senate were left with no choice after its victory over Pompey. The other one of these positions was the Censor, who had the duty of keeping the census and also had to keep a moral standard in Rome. On top of this, they also had some jobs concerning finance. Now that we have covered all of the roles inside the Cursus Honorum, we can move on to how Romans would get into the Cursus Honorum. There were 2 ways to do this. One was by serving in the military. This usually allowed them to get into the Cursus Honorum. However, they would have to have served outstandingly well. The other path was through law courts. This has been our video on the Cursus Honorum. Expect another video tomorrow, which will probably be the beginning of a new series. For now, valete et ave SPQR.